Hi there and welcome to our mini lecture on operational systems. So in our talk today we're going to talk a little bit about the types of information systems to introduce the topic, and then we're going to look at a couple of operational systems, one called a transaction processing system and its features, and we're then going to look at another operational system called an enterprise resource planning system and some of the advantages that these ERP systems bring along to an organisation. And we're then going to talk a little bit about how these enterprise resource planning systems, ERP systems, allow us to build upon these and show how they connect to our management level systems. So to start off with then, we'll talk a little bit about types of information systems. So from your reading, you should be familiar with the idea that there are three different types of information system. There's a first level information system, which is called operational level systems. The second level systems are known as management level systems, and the third level are called strategic level systems. And in today's session, we're focusing on operational systems, which process the ongoing daily operations of a business. So we begin by talking a little about transaction processing systems, known as TPS. A TPS collects, stores, modifies and retrieves transaction data. I wonder what sort of transactions we might be able to think of. Well, in a way, almost everything that we do now connected with a business is a transaction. For example, if we go to a cash point and we put our card in and we take £20 out, that is a transaction with the bank and it's recorded on a transaction processing system. If we go online and we buy a flight for our holidays, then that again, that booking of the seat and the payments that go through for that and the sending of the e-tickets are all transactions, and again are recorded and stored by a transaction processing system. There are also other sorts of transactions. Payroll, where we get paid at the end of the month. Our salary is coming through our payroll system at our place of employment and through to our bank. Other things like bank account payments that we might make overnight to pay for our direct debits or our standing orders. If we're in the supermarket at Lidl or at Sainsbury's, then what we might do is when we come to check out, those checking out details, the payment, but also the scanning of each individual item is a transaction that is recorded on a transaction processing system. There are two types of transaction processing system, one known as batch processing and one known as real-time processing. The two different sorts of processing come from a historic way of processing information via our computer systems. The batch processing systems historically would group together lots of similar data that needed processing in the same way and would run it when the computers weren't being used in the day. And so many old systems, banking systems, things like that, originate from batch processing systems. Our real-time systems are the sort of things that we use online, or if we're in Lidl or if we're in Sainsbury's making our purchases, all of these are in real time. So what we're saying is that a transaction processing system supports many of the routine activities of the business. And in fact, businesses will often use many transaction processing systems to carry out all of their various functions within the business. So what are the features of a transaction processing system? Well, firstly, a transaction processing system has very fast performance. Secondly, it's continuously available to customers or to users alike. Thirdly, it has what we call data integrity. It needs to make sure that whilst we may have multiple users on the system, those multiple users cannot change the same piece of data at the same time. And as you could realise, that can be quite a complex information systems challenge to make sure that that happens faultlessly. A transaction processing system should have ease of use, and it should also have the capacity to be able to grow its capability as the business requires more processing to be carried out. So moving on to the second sort of operational system now, and this is called an Enterprise Resource Planning System. It's an ERP system for short. And the ERP systems that we use today in business have grown out of the earlier transaction processing systems. An ERP is different to a TPS, since what it tries to do is that it integrates all of the different transaction processings within a business into one ERP system, into one system. And an ERP system is a set of integrated programs then that manage all of a business's vital operations. So rather than having many transaction processing systems, we just have one ERP system with all of the integrated programs together. And so our ERP system would capture a sales order, it would take the customer inputs, it would generate an order, it would take payments for that particular product, it would update the warehouse with our stock details, all within the ERP system. The ERP system has originated from what we call outdated legacy transaction processing systems that lacked integration within a business, and bringing them together and integrating them not only makes the systems work far more effectively, but it brings together the business in a far more cohesive manner. So let's look at some of the advantages then of the ERP system. Well, the first one is that it gives us improved access to data for operational decision making. Because all of the different functionality is integrated into one ERP system, we can look at sales information, payment information, and we can combine that data and information to make far better decisions. It eliminates what we call costly legacy systems. Legacy systems are systems which are old systems which the business has outgrown, but in many cases still uses for certain parts of the business function. But it allows us to eliminate those legacy systems. It should improve the work processes, the way that the business carries out its functions. And it should also help us to upgrade the technology infrastructure that the business relies upon. So let's look at the relationship then between the ERP system and the management information systems that we're going to study later on together. Well, an ERP system is an operational level system, and it's very much the main building block of the information systems within a business. The operational systems, an ERP system in particular, enables us to capture all of that data that we not only use for operational decision making throughout the business, but it also captures that data to be used later on for our management level systems. So things like our management information system and our decision support system rely heavily upon an ERP system. And as we move on to look at the module in more detail, we'll see that in fact ERP systems also act as one of the sources for our business intelligence efforts within the business, but more of that later. So I hope you found this particular area helpful and enjoyable, and again I'll check in with you later in the module, see how we're doing. So thanks very much for watching.